here you can see the color of the paper is actually acting already as a shadow. So now that we can leave our clouds alone, we can start adding those greens. So I'm going to start with the mid-tone value. That's not too light, not too dark. And I'm going to start adding those basically lighter areas on my trees. So I see that here there is this light hitting the tree, and this light is going to help me kind of separate this tree from the tree next to it. And if you can see, you see trees happening here as well on this side, but I decided not to add them. If you want, you can definitely add those too. So I'm using these kind of movements that will help me, that go in different directions, and they will help me show that the tree has foliage to it. So it's not a solid object. And I'm adding it everywhere that I see this color. So I'm adding this mid-tone green into the areas where I see it. So this area is lighter than the tree, and then over here we will have also some shadow forming. Then we have this shrub thing happening in front of the house, like so. And you can see already that we have some picture and planes forming here, like so. And then of course we can add the grass. I'm not gonna draw this log that we have in front. I just go with this grass, so just the meadow. Okay, so what I can do now is I'm going to just very gently blend this first layer so that I will be able to add more layers on top. And the grass, I'm blending it vertically, so it gives me an appearance of flat surface here. Very gently, like so. Also these trees here on the back, very gently I'm blending it in, so it allows me to add more layers on top. Then the front tree, so this is my protagonist of the picture, the one that I like the most, and that's going to kind of pull all the attention on itself. Okay, so the first layer is on. What we can do now is start adding those lighter lights and darker darks. So the lighter lights, and my picture went away. So the lighter lights, I'm using even lighter color. So this is this lighter color first, and I'm going to add some lights in here. And now it doesn't seem that it's light, almost like nothing changes particularly, but as soon as we put those darks in place, you will see how light this looks. So I'm just adding those lights in the shape of the tree. Okay, and also some over here. So these, they are kind of on the foreground, so we have to pull them out slightly, adding more light to them. And then also the grass, again in vertical movements. Then there is a brighter patch of grass over here, which we can add. And the grass, it's not going to be the same color all over, so we have to add different colors for the grass for it to look more realistic. And now we're going to go into the darker color, and with this we're going to start adding those darks on the tree. So all of this area is in the shadow on our tree, if you take a look at it. So this is not even the darkest green that we will be using, but already it gives us the shape. And here I'm already creating that silhouette of these branches of different length, that it's not the same everywhere. So I'm adding this shadow over this green here. And then here we have a more dense shadow. And the same goes for this grassy area here. Then on these trees, there's also the shadow the same way. So if you look at our image, you can clearly see the shapes of these trees and see where the sun is shining from. Over here, then there are some darker bits like so. And then this tree, it helps us create the shape of the front tree when we add the shadow here. The line here doesn't have to be even because the grasses can be taller or shorter, so it doesn't have to look completely even. It's not a seed drawing. So we have those here. Let's add a bit of shadows here, and also shadows on the background over here. And then these shrubs here, they also cast a shadow, but it's not as long as this shadow from the tree. And we need to show that as well, like so. Okay. Now I'm going to go into an even darker green and add a variety to my shadow, basically. So it doesn't look flat. Like so. And with the lightest green, we will start adding those accents in the lightest areas. Here, some trees will be shining through these branches, and we have some of those accents over here. So now, before we add any sky holes to this whole picture, it looks very solid. So what we need to do now is to add that sky holes so that it looks more tree-like, more realistic. Some brighter greens over here, like so. Then this brighter grass. Really like this area of the grass that's kind of shining through. And I'm adding this bright green also over this kind of meadow here. And the grass, I'm going to actually rub it again because I want the grass to be not the center of attention. So in the darkest shadows, like here, I can rub it slightly because here nothing shines through. So the paper here, we don't need it to shine through because I want it to be like this solid shadow color, like so. Also here, nothing shines through, so it's quite dark here. And in these bushes. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my light green, the first one that we used, and I'm going to add some branches in these shadows because it's not that we have the shadow and there are no branches in these shadows. So some of the branches, they still do catch light. Over here, so over here. So it's like going back and forth between these lights and shadows. Okay. And now I will be adding the sky holes into my clouds. So I'm going to use this mid-tone blue that I have, and I'm going to start adding the sky that kind of shines through the branches, to add the tree, to give the tree this semi-transparent kind of appearance. Also correcting shape in places where I need to. Like so. There are some. This is a more transparent tree. This one has a very silhouette that is kind of thin branches coming out from it. Also here maybe something like so. I'm going to also correct the silhouette of this tree with the same blue, so it doesn't look so ball-shaped. Okay,